headlines. Governor Udom Emayor accounts for his stewardship in 100 days. 12 witnesses so far say that elections were held in Akwa Ibom State under free, fair climate. Governor Udom Emayor lays foundation stone for fertilizer company in Okuabak, says the momentum for industrialization will be sustained. Deputy Governor calls for reintroduction and institution of war against indiscipline amongst Nigerians. Stay tuned now for details of these and other stories. A very good morning to you and welcome to AKBC TV News. My name is Edu Ikon. Today marks 100 days in office of Mr. Udom Emayor as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. In marking the day, Mr. Udom Emayor made a broadcast to the state during which he took stock of his stewardship in the 100 days. According to him, with humility, loyalty, and a high sense of duty, that spent each day in office working towards the uplift of the state with the aim of making it outstanding in Nigeria and the world as the land of greatness.
Exactly 100 days ago, I stood before you, the good people of Akwa Ibom State, the custodians of my divine mandate, and proclaimed my readiness to work for you. On that day, I solemnly took my oath of office as governor of this land of prosperity and great promise. No doubt, 100 days is a short time, but I recall my pledge of accountability to you. It begins from this little period of my stewardship to you. For he who is faithful in little things will be faithful in great things. This is my report of the journey so far.
Governor Udom Emayor said he came into office with a 5-point agenda which includes wealth creation, economic and political inclusion, poverty alleviation, infrastructure consolidation and expansion, as well as job creation, encapsulated under the broad theme of industrialization. He adjudged his administration to have done 1 million things across the sectors within the 100 days. He enumerated his strides to include groundbreaking for new industries and resuscitating of moribund ones, which include the rehabilitation of peacock pens, industry tenant, and formation and foundation laying for an automobile industry, a lead factory, ShopRite shopping mall, a broadcast complex, and a fertilizer company. Others, the governor said, are the flag off of construction of various road projects across the state, improvement of facilities at the Ibom International Airport, in addition to the intervention projects following incidents of natural disasters.
And expansion and job creation. They are all encapsulated under the broad theme of industrialization. We spared no effort in putting blocks and bricks together to build truly magnificent edifice that we will fervently desire Akwa Ibom State to be. We have performed groundbreaking ceremonies of new industries while resuscitating the moribund ones. Powered by a foreign direct investment policy, we have laid foundation for automobile industry, a lead factory, ShopRite mall, a broadcast complex, and of recent, a fertilizer company. Meanwhile, peacock paint industry has come alive, just like life is being breathed on other ailing industries.
Governor Udom Emayor also counted his achievements to include prompt payment of salaries and declaring of a decade of gratuities for local government employees and other units of Nigerian Union of Pensioners, even in the face of dwindling revenue accruing to the state due to global fall in oil prices. He said he has successfully improved electricity supply and is building substations with hope to achieve constant power supply in the state. The governor reiterated his dream to create wealth for and make Akwa Ibom people live healthy and happy in life. He said his administration's emphasis on health is a primary health care delivery, adding that monthly sanitation program has also been introduced to promote cleanliness of the state. Governor Domi Mayo charged the people to eschew bitterness and rancor, avoid fanning the embers of ethnicity and divisiveness, but rather increase brotherliness to make the state flourish. He thanked the people for the mandate given him and pledged his continuous commitment to raise the state to the pinnacle of greatness.
On foreign direct investment, constitution of a technical committee on Ibom Deep Sea Port project, inauguration of a technical committee on agri and food sufficiency, groundbreaking ceremony of over 20 investors that have indicated interest in coming to set up shops in Akwa Ibom State, continued structural expansion, 1,000 youths on Oracle certification and other skill acquisition programs, 1.2 kilometer underground drainage. Our youths have been empowered in diverse ways to prepare them for jobs of tomorrow today.
Supporters of Governor Domi Mayo and the PDP have been turning up in their numbers to witness proceedings at the governorship election petition tribunal sitting in Abuja. Councils to Governor Domi Mayo and the PDP opened defense on the matter on Wednesday this week. Councils to Governor Domi Mayo are led by Paul Usora San, and those of the People's Democratic Party are led by Adekunle Oyeshonwa San. 9 witnesses have so far testified to the free conduct of the elections since the defense started on Wednesday this week. Witnesses who tendered their voters' card as exhibits in their evidences told the tribunal that elections were held in Akwa Ibom State and that the people voted in a calm, violence-free atmosphere. Witnesses who have so far testified were Prince Godwin Tugude, Mr. Maxwell Ojoko, Elder Imo Okun, and Mr. Isaiah Abia. Others were Elder Ofort Nkaude, Engineer Etido Inyang, Mr. Ezekiel Jacob Obosi, Mr. Samuel Benjamin Bassi, and Mr. Friday Okobo. Speaking with journalists, the defense counsels Paul Usora San and Adekunle Oyeshonwa San said that more witnesses will be called before the tribunal to prove that the conduct of elections in Akwa Ibom were held in a free and fair state against the claims of the All Progressive Congress that there were no elections in the state, as their counsels also commented.
We have witnesses who have gone into the witness box and who have testified that they voted at the last governorship election.
Somebody had there were elections, and we won fair and square. That's the case, that's not the case. I'm going to be pushing that case very hard.
Meanwhile, the tribunal has adjourned its sitting to Monday, 7th September 2015. During yesterday's sitting, the tribunal received evidences from the additional witnesses in favor of the defendant. Those who testified were Barrister Okon Willie, Prince Uwem Itatuk, and Mr. Jude Effiong Eden. The state government has said that it will sustain the industrialization drive until every Akwa Ibom State person can have an alternative for his or her job. Governor Domi Mayo said this at the flag-off of a fertilizer plant at Okuabak, Abak local government area. Colonel Eden Efreti reports that the fertilizer company, Greenwell Technologies, owned by United States of America multinational, is located at the site of the Mesco enterprise acquired by the state government 3 years ago.
Governor Domi Mayo said that he is committed to industrializing the state so as to change the fortune of the people, adding that he would continue to attract investments to the state. Mr. Udom Emmanuel, who stressed that such commitment made him to inaugurate the technical committees, attributed the debut of the fertilizer plant in the state to the Technical Committee on Agric and Food Sufficiency. He said the inauguration of the plant was to give the people another prospect of wealth, as fertilizer gives the people advantage of producing at the two planting seasons. The governor thanked the Greenwell Technologies on its decision to partner with the state as it sets for industrialization.
Providence and nature have completely blessed us. We are situated within the tropical forest belt, blessed with the fertile soil and humid climatic conditions that support cultivation of crops. At least we can cultivate in Akwa Ibom twice a year. So with the fertilizer company here, we have an added advantage. When these are complemented with our planned mechanized farming as against subsistence agriculture, food will certainly be in abundance for our local consumption and export.
Earlier, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, had thanked the Governor on his decision to bring the company to a back, saying that the people have not regretted having supported him during the elections.
When the people of Abak decided totally to follow you, if you like, blindly, we knew we will lead us to prosperity. All we could say here is, may God continue to guide and bless you.
The Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Investment, Barrister Emmanuel Enoidem, said Greenwell Technologies is to produce customized fertilizers for all products and that it would have more than 200 Akwa Ibom youths in its employ.
The capabilities of this company is intent that every fertilizer that will be produced by this company in this complex will be customized to the nature of the soil that is easy to be applied. That is a very important aspect of this fertilizer plant.
The Chief Executive Officer of Greenwell Technologies, Mr. Robert Chandler, said the industry will be involved in fertilizer blending, manufacturing of superphosphate and aluminium phosphate. He said the company which he revealed is sponsored by Zenith Bank PLC is proud to be part of the state's industrialization, adding that its presence in the state will create jobs for its residents.
Your Excellency, it is solely your doing that we're here today. It's your vision, your leadership, and your experience that makes Greenwell's operation in Abak possible. I thank you.
Those who also spoke at the event included the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Nyekan Womana, who described the nascent of the company as a restoration of the good old days of Abak, the paramount ruler, Kuku Christopher Paul Upe, who expressed his appreciation with a warm embrace, and the chairman of Abak Local Government Caretaker Committee, Dr. Emmanuel Udorsen, who assured Governor Udom Emmanuel of more land for citing any other industry. The women too had their voices as they danced to the governor in demonstration of their appreciation. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
Of the war against indiscipline, why amongst Nigerians? The Deputy Governor made a call during the passing out ceremony of the Community Support Brigade. Sessions John reports that 1 week training was held at the St. Mary's Science College, Edianabak. Her report.
Mr. Moses Ekpo reasoned that if the war against indiscipline was reintroduced, its purpose of instilling discipline, proper social order, and promoting the spirit of nationalism would have been achieved. The Deputy Governor recalled that the policy was introduced 30 years ago by General Muhammadu Buhari, who was the then head of state, while he was appointed the Pioneer Director and Chief Executive Officer of the program. He called on the federal government to consider legislation that will guarantee the return of war against indiscipline with the permission to work with law enforcement agencies across the country. He also commended members of the Community Support Brigade for engaging in the training aimed at contributing to national development.
It is indeed my conviction that the time has come for Nigeria to rejuvenate the war against indiscipline, most significantly in consideration of the times where our corporate morals as a nation have been severely devalued and our security as a nation very badly threatened.
The National Orientation Agency, represented by Mr. Monde Akpan, said the training was an annual event organized by the National Orientation Agency to train volunteers on anti-corruption campaign in discipline in all areas of the national life, community policing and implementing environmental sanitation.
The National Orientation Agency took over the brigade from Federal Ministry of Information and Culture in 1993. These volunteers have been drilled and equipped to show exemplary leadership, show respect to elders and constituted authorities, promote positive work ethic, cure culture, and community service.
The chairman of Abak Local Government Transition Committee, Mr. Emmanuel Udosen, advised the trainees to inculcate the values acquired during the training and exhibit same in their daily activities.
And we are charging you to go out to society and ensure that other members of society benefit from the training you've gotten here. In particular, we want you to join with the security forces, the law enforcement agencies, to rid the society of crime and criminal activities.
The brigade commandant, Mr. Friday Itugudo, said that the trained personnel have volunteered to offer selfless services to the country. A parade mounted members of the Community Support Brigade was earlier reviewed by the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo. Patience John reporting.
The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has been decorated as the Grand Patron of the Boys Brigade Nigeria. The investiture was part of the brigade's activities to mark its silver jubilee and took place at the Government House, Uyo. Again, Patience John has details.
Appreciating the gesture of the Boys Brigade, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, promised to be more involved in the activities of the body to spur Akwa Ibom youths to be committed to selfless service. He said that the state government will continue to protect the interests of youths in its developmental process to enable them to develop their potentials. Mr. Ekpo noted that the Boys Brigade, founded in 1883 in United Kingdom, will celebrate its 132 years as a global body later this year, and commended the objectives of the organization, which is to instill Christian values in youth, among other things.
In this regard, the government of Akwa Ibom State, under the leadership of Deacon Udomi Emmanuel, at all times ensure that the achieving youth are factored into all spheres of our developmental process. It also grants them access to develop full potentialities.
The president of the Boys Brigade Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Council, Bishop Josephine Ega, said that the body is an interdenominational voluntary uniformed organization with the aim of training male youths to advance the gospel of Jesus Christ and inculcate the values of discipline, self-respect among members. Bishop Ega said that the organization, which was inaugurated in the state, is celebrating its silver jubilee and has selected the deputy governor as its grand patron. The brigade's president commended Governor Udom Emmanuel for what she described as his youth-friendly policies, which is why the youths are being trained in various skills within and outside the country.
That has called you is faithful and just. Make sure he perfects the office, and not only the office, you and your family and Akwa Ibom State, and also our great governor.
Reporting.
You're just joining us. This is AKPC TV News. Governor Udom Emmanuel has reiterated his administration's commitment to direct the creative energies of the youth to productive ventures. These and many more will be coming your way shortly after the break. Stay with us.
There Mary is a land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here, Mary's Lesser called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here, Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves, and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the land of promise.
So good to know that we're still there, and many thanks for joining us. And on to the rest of the news. Governor Udom Emmanuel has reiterated his administration's commitment to redirect the creative energies of the youth to productive ventures. The governor was speaking at a special summit organized by youth leaders in Okobo local government area. Represented by the Special Assistant on Youth Matters, Mr. Enefiok Iwaldofia, Mr. Udom Emmanuel tasked the youth to imbibe the culture of values, humility, sincerity, and dedication to the development of the state, as well as shun all forms of social vices.
This is the government of the youth, by the youth, and for the youth. So the entire state government is for all. So we will leave nothing untouched until every one of us here has something to do to feed our family with. I have consistently maintained that the era of prostrating for someone, calling someone chairman, distinguished my leader just for 500 naira and long gone. In a couple of months from now, all of us will have something to do, all of us will have jobs, all of us will have small businesses, all of us will have something to feed on so that we will not steal.
Member representing Okobo State constituency in the House of Assembly, Mrs. Felicia Bassi, in her remarks at the occasion, lauded the governor for his commitment to youth development and advised the youth to partner with the administration to enable it to deliver on its promises to develop the state. She advised the youth to take advantage of the opportunities provided by the governor to develop themselves.
When you go back home, it will stop there. What we have done here in Okobobi, go back to your work. Call other youth. Tell them the good tidings that Governor Udom Emmanuel means well for the youth.
The event, which keynote lecture was delivered by Architect Emmanuel Atun on the theme Youth as Development Partners of Akwa Ibom State, took place at Okobo Development Union Hall, Okobedi, and featured talks by Special Assistant to the Governor on Political Affairs and the Chairman of Okobo Youth Leaders Forum. Thursday and Friday last week, and indeed yesterday, were the worst of moment for some families in Anuaford of Ngwangeba Road, Uyo. The families on these days got what they never bargained for, as the versatile flood occasioned by the heavy rain of these days left sour tastes in their mouth, Household items, including electronics, mattresses, and other valuable items worth several thousands of naira were affected, while shops with various stocks were submerged. Narrating the incident, one of the victims who lives at number 271 Ngwangeba Road, Mr. Clement Sylvester Idiom, said that this year's flooding of the area has been the worst. He said the heavy flooding was occasioned by the blockade of the drain channels leading to the ravine behind St. Luke's Hospital, Anwa, which remedial work is ongoing. Mr. Clement Idiom said that he has lost all his household items on the flood, explaining that the rainwater in his compound and others went above the window level. He called on the state government, agencies and corporate bodies to come to the assistance of persons affected by the flood as their sources of livelihood have been washed off by the flood.
From that heavy rain of yesterday, so we say, the rooms that were moving and leave it open.
The Nigerian army has reinstated about 3,000 soldiers who were dismissed for various offenses. The United States Vice President Joe Biden has said that the most relevant factor that will influence his decision to join the 2016 presidential race is his family's emotional energy. Mercy Ekere has details of these and other stories in AKB's Channel 45 National and Foreign News segment.
The Nigerian Army has reinstated 3,032 out of the 5,000 soldiers who were dismissed after being convicted by military courts for various offenses. According to the Nigerian Army Public Relations Acting Director, Colonel Sani Usman, only soldiers with disciplinary cases have been reinstated. The reinstated soldiers have commenced training for eventual redeployment to the operational bases. The Nigerian Army has expressed confidence that it is working to ensure that the Boko Haram terrorists are defeated within 3 months. In Sierra Leone, about 1,000 people have been quarantined after the death of a 67-year-old woman who tested positive for Ebola. This comes 5 days into the 42-day countdown for the country to be officially declared Ebola-free. The quarantine will last for 21 days, provided no new cases are recorded. The World Health Organization and Sierra Leone government are planning a vaccination program for those who are being quarantined. The WHO for a second time announced Liberia free from the Ebola virus. Meanwhile, Guinea is still trying to contain its outbreak. The United States Vice President, Mr. Joe Biden, has expressed uncertainty about his intentions to participate in the 2016 presidential race. Mr. Biden said he will not hesitate to run for presidency if he concludes that he can launch a viable campaign.
Sympathizers Thursday gathered at St. Agnes Catholic Church, Brivitan, into local government area to pay their final respects to a non-Generian, Madam Ambrusa Okunefiong, who died at the age of 96. The late Madam Ambrusa Efiong was a devout member of the Catholic Church. Etienne Iba was at the funeral and now brings details.
Members of the Berry family, Catholic Women Organization and sympathizers charged the funeral atmosphere with dance to appreciate God for the early journey of Madam Ambrusa Efiong, which began in 1919. According to her biography, Madam Ambrose Efiong embraced the Catholic faith right from childhood and became an active member of Catholic Women Organization in Kadiaobong, where she was involved in the building of a Diaobong Secondary School in Yongofort, Uyo. Maitam, as she was fondly called by admirers while alive, dealt on local gin, stockfish and skill in mat making, a business which took her to various parts of the state. Delivering a sermon, a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Samuel Edem, described the late nonagenarian as a passionate and a practical Christian who lived a good life while on earth. He said there was a connection between wisdom and long life, explaining that when people disobey the laws of nature, lack physical health care, disrespect elders and things of God, such actions could shorten one's lifespan on earth.
In the eyes of the wise, anybody that is virtuous that dies, the wise person sees that day as the beginning of immortality.
Members of the Brave family thank God for keeping them to honor their mother. They also thank the church for its support and the well wishers for standing by them to accord late Madam Ambrosa a befitting burial. Late Madam Ambrosa Effiong was a grandmother to the wife of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Communications, Mr. Oliver Odokwo. In an interview, the Permanent Secretary said the late Madam Ambrosa lived honestly and be greatly missed by all.
She was very straightforward, a woman of God. She believed in God till her death. She was always going to church.
The only daughter of the deceased, Mrs. Antonia Idiong, reflected on the life and times of our mother.
He was so kind to me and buying me for 10 years. The preference to go to since I was the only because I'm both a boy and a girl for that woman.
Survived by 8 grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren and a host of others, the remains of the late Madam Ambrosa Effiong were interred at a family compound at Mbribilita. Etienne Ibanga reporting.
Remember, you can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And now to conclude the news and then look at some of the major stories. The state government has said that it will sustain the industrialization drive until every acquiring state person can have an alternative for his or her job. Governor Dom Emmanuel said this at the flag of a fertilizer plant at Okuobak, Abakaliki government area. And that's the news from me. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Amen.